Hello.
Hi, Shikha.
Hi.
How are
You
you
want
all?
to good, thank you. You want to quickly put the backdrop?
No, it's okay because I'm not able to.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Bakshi sir, can we go live? Amrish?
Shikha, we are already live.
Yes, ma'am. Facebook is on like live.
You're already live. Okay, then let's begin the show. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Women Power. Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Women Power, a global movement started by DK Bakshi, who is a well-known global business HR leader, who took the mission of having 1 million women on this platform by 2024, irrespective of caste, creed, color, nationality, and religion. Today, this movement is spread in 20 countries around the world, and Mr. DK Bakshi is also titled as Honorable Women Power in the world for this mission. Today, we have a very special guest with us, all the way from Thailand, Dr. Manisha Bose. And my name is Shikha Gupta. I am the chapter head for South India Women Power, along with my gorgeous host, Geetika Mishra. I will introduce Geetika and then we move on with the show. Geetika is an experienced HR sales professional working in a global work atmosphere. She has worked in India, China, and now she's settled in Indonesia. She is a certified leadership coach and a learning and development enthusiast. Other than that, she's also associated with Global Movement Women Power, Jakarta, as chapter head. Talking about myself, I'm again an HR professional, currently managing talent acquisition for a large IT services firm. Beyond that, I'm also associated with a lot of other CSR engagement activities, and I'm the chapter head for South India Global Women Power. Okay, now let's talk about the guest, the lovely lady whom we have with us for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Manisha Bose, born and brought up in Mumbai. She's done her master's and then she joined an ad agency, worked there and then joined a college in Mumbai. It's a well-known college in Mumbai. At filmy duffers like Ranbir Kapoor went there and many good students too. Okay. Then she moved on to Pune and taught at Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies and was a visiting faculty in many other reputed management institutes. She taught communication skills and advertising. Wow, now that's a deadly combination. She also does corporate training for reputed companies like Mastech, Apollo Tires, etc. After that, she decided to concentrate on family. Family comes first. So she took a small break with her childbirth and moved to Thailand, where she started working for a company, but her calling was different. She wanted to complete her education, finished her PhD, and had another child and enjoyed bringing up children. What diversity! Studies, work, child, relocation, PhD, child again. Lovely. And the journey continues. Hang on there tight. Let me introduce her a little more. She's associated with a prestigious university called, pardon me if I don't pronounce this correctly, Chulalongkorn, awarded by a title called Bharati Medi Indian Scholar. And she read her paper on Salman Rushdie in an Indian writing and English conference where Amitav Ghosh, Danvi Barua, and Vikas Swaroop attended that event. She is from Allahabad and, and she's very proud about it. Once her son started going to school, she joined the Assumption University and she totally loves working over there. She teaches English, which is a foreign language, and students from all the faculties need to complete 4 levels of English classes and then engineering, architecture, so on and so forth. And she teaches all of them. She also takes courses in business English department like article writing and public speaking. She does corporate trainings and cross-cultural communication training is her forte. Lovely. Pedagogy in cross-cultural contexts is her favorite. That is her favorite area of work. She has done many programs on the above. mentioned topics. And she is also associated with a children's home called Banu Nark, yeah, which is very close to her heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our guest for this evening, Dr. Manisha Bose. Let's welcome her with a round of applause. Welcome, Dr.
Hello.
Manisha. Great. So, are we ready to know you a little more? Some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, Shikha. I think you have built up it already. I think everybody's eager to dive in and know Manisha more about her journey. So let's just go ahead straight there.
Absolutely. So am I. Okay, so let's start with the little Manisha, right? The little girl Manisha. It would be really interesting to know, Manisha, about your upbringing as a girl child. Any challenges that you faced as a part of that upbringing? Who was your mentor? What kind of support system did you have? And what kind of excellence did you think that you would do in the field of education while you were growing up? That's a lot,
Okay.
right?
Yes, there are too many questions. I'll try to answer them. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes.
So I'm born and brought up in Mumbai. 3 generations we've been in Mumbai, but I'm a proud UPite because that's where my roots are from. I've had a very beautiful childhood because we're just 2 sisters, and my parents, my extended families, my maternal, paternal grandparents, uncles, they all loved us. So there was no issue of a girl child in my family, but certainly in the backdrop, at the periphery, this was the issue. You know, as little girls, my sister and I are just a year apart. I would often hear people telling my mom, oh, you should have another child, you don't have a son, you know, and my mother was never impacted by it. She laughed behind their backs, and I would hear her tell my dad, they're so foolish. They think that we need more children because we don't have a son. And even when I grew up, I would hear people say that, oh, you're just 2 sisters and you don't have a brother, your parents don't have a son. So what I'm trying to tell you is that though in my family, this was not the case, it was around. So I knew that being a girl was less important to some people than being a boy. But at the same time, because my parents did not care about it, it did not perturb them. So I felt, no, but this is the right thing, is to have girls and feel good about it. Now, having said this, I would like to point out that all those people who told me, or my parents or my mom, that, you know, you should have a son, they were all women. You know, it's so ironical that they were all women. And I also noticed that they were those women who were not cherished by their parents. You know, because I knew a family, I'll give you an example. There were 3 daughters, and their parents always sulked to them that they wanted a son. So when the girl was going to have a child, she told me, you know, I don't want to have daughters, I want to have son. So in the backdrop, this was definitely an issue. And I always knew my parents are different because they're so proud of having 2 daughters. Until today, they're so happy, and we are so happy. So yes, I was not a victim, but I did see victims around me of this mindset. Now, your second question was, I think, about mentoring. So nobody mentored me in as such, but it was a huge influence of my parents on me. Like for my father, his upbringing was extremely strict, which to some extent, I don't think it was justified. And I sometimes even question myself that, is he strict because I was a daughter? But now at this age, I feel he would have been equally strict if he had a son, you know? So he was the one who influenced a lot of worldview at that time. So we spoke literature, he spoke history, we spoke politics, all that did have an impact, but no mentoring as such, and no hardships as a girl child. Other than, yes, a very strong presence in the society, you know, in the in the times that I was growing up. So I hope I've answered most of your questions.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's such a privilege to be, you know, brought up that way, and parents feeling proud, because those days, yes, having a son was like, even today, Manisha, why not?
Yeah.
Even today,
Yeah.
sons. Beautifully answered.
Yes, Manisha, I really want to extend to this.
Shikha, 1 minute. Shikha, you know, your mic is sometimes getting, your voice is becoming very low. You could be closer to the mic. Yeah. Yes, Geetika, you say something.
I just want to congratulate your parents, you know, kudos to your parents for standing up And especially
Yeah.
to your friends who went hard on you, because generally, the girls are very pampered.
Yeah.
So, but I really appreciate those parents who really stand up and be really strong for their girls, treat them and educate them like an equal, because the problems are the same. This is what I
Yes.
always say. Problems are the same. They don't come with your associated only with your gender in society.
True.
But Manisha, I'm more curious because I appreciate higher education. I'm maybe it's coming from my background. I'm coming from a family of intellects. So I'm really fascinated. What inspired you? Because what Shikha mentioned, you're up and down. You did your masters, you went to ad agency, then you started your PhD, you had your kid, so you took a break. Then again, after your kid, you finished your PhD, if I'm not wrong on the timeline. What kept you going? What inspired you? What was the background?
Okay. See, for me, it was just the wise thing to do was to educate myself. Now, while I was waiting for my results for my master's, I joined an ad agency and I totally loved it. I mean, I loved, there was something else I, realized about myself while working from the ad agency. But after I got my results, I was itching to teach. I just wanted to join a college and I saw an ad and I thought, let me try. But I didn't know if I would get it. And it was a very good college, national college, where I got a job. And I was extremely thrilled. I loved, and I thought, now I have arrived and, now I'll teach literature and I'll spend my life here. But my husband got a job in another city. So I moved with him, of course, and I would give that to my husband. He said that, let's prioritize. If you don't want to go, we stay back and I'll look for another job. Kudos to him. And I said, no, you go and I'll do something. I'll find another job and I'll teach literature in Pune. But I didn't get any job there because there were no vacancies. It is a smaller city, fewer colleges. Everyone was already working. So I saw an ad for a management institute. And again, it was a very good management institute called Symbiosis Institute of Management. There, I don't know how, but I got a job to teach advertising,
Wonderful.
And I had communication skills. And I realized that the students were my age, almost. I was just out of my graduation, just a year out. And I had to work very hard to understand. And in front of them, I pretended I know it all, but I studied, I tried to read a lot on advertising, because however well you speak, but if you don't have a content, you're not authentic, you don't touch the heart. So, every time I was pushed, it was only academics and it was only studies that I could hold on to. So I started curriculum designing. I started teaching advertising in many management institutes in Pune. If you know Pune, it is full of amazing management institutes. So I started getting invited. Then there were, my colleagues or visiting faculty, I won't say my colleagues, they were all CEOs of amazing companies. So they would do corporate.
Wow.
They roped me in, again, different topics, new topics. So I started, studying those topics. So this way life was good till I conceived it was better. I gave it up all because, I wanted to bring up my child. And when my daughter was a year and a half, we moved to Thailand, and I had enrolled for my PhD back then, but then I had again given up PhD. So once I came in here, I realized that again, as I came, within 3 months, I got a job and I started working for a company where I was again teaching communication skills. So I would work just part-time and then I would be with my daughter. And then I realized that, this is the time where my daughter needs me, so I should study. So that was, today when I think, I feel, I don't know how I managed, but that time it was just a process. So I would go to India 4 times a year because my guide, I did it from Mumbai University. I was in Thailand, a young girl who didn't know anybody. I had no contacts. I didn't know. And again, Thailand is a non-English speaking country. And I was studying was English literature. And I used to hear of this Chulalongkorn University, but nobody had access to it, where I heard the library is amazing. So it was very tough. I would take my daughter back home, put her in a kindergarten there and go to university. My parents supported me immensely. So finally, and I must say, I met very nice men and women who supported me. Like I still remember the librarian. She would write to other libraries to send books. I would photocopy the books,
Wow.
bring them back home. So I would have suitcase and cartons full of books that I had to study. Anyway, finally, I finished my PhD, and then I had my son. My daughter was lonely. She wanted a sibling. So I had Aryan, and I didn't do anything for 3 years. I just played with my son to my heart's content. And women, my own family members would feel sad for me that, oh, she did her doctorate and she's doing nothing. But I always felt empowered. It didn't matter to me, I didn't do a doctorate to prove it to somebody. I wanted to be a young doctorate, and so I did it for myself. And then by God's grace, I met very nice people. This university, Chulalongkorn, which I had an association with, I bumped into somebody and said, oh, you've done your doctorate, please give your thesis. And then they gave me the title. I still was not ready to work because my son was still young and not going to a kindergarten. It's only and then I got a chance to read my paper. So my affair with literature just ended there. I have never been able to teach literature. It was always something else. So today I teach English as a foreign language. So that was my most defining moment for myself, was to read a paper in Chulalongkorn University in Indian Writing in English conference, and that was beautiful. But I don't get disillusioned. So whatever, I think with education, what I learned was adaptability. So I adapted. Every time I was pushed, I adapted, because end of the day, it's teaching and it's knowledge, and you keep acquiring. So as of now, I'm thoroughly enjoying my job teaching English as a foreign language, because there's a lot of scope to it. And though we come from a background where English is a second language, we have less otherness with English, but I still relate to people for whom English is a foreign language, because urban India and rural India are different. In rural India, English is still as good as a foreign language. So coming from that route, I can relate to it, and I'm really enjoying, and I do see a lot of scope in this field to work on. So that's my journey of education.
Manisha, just one thing that comes to my mind when I'm listening to this is very familiar phrase called, where there's a will, there's a way. I think this is what I clearly see. You decided to do something despite all odds. You kept going and going. And me and Shikha, we are working professionals as well. And I think Shikha will agree with me on this. Leaving the job and going back to studies is a very difficult decision. Be with the kid or without the kid. It's a very difficult decision to leave your jobs, which is like a full paying kind of job. And then you leave the job and you go back to studies, get yourself back in a student mode. It's a very difficult job. So I don't know how you achieved it, but kudos to that as well.
Yeah, it was effort. Honestly, it was effortless, because you know what? It was not my mind, it was my heart, which wanted it, honestly. So if it was not there was no war. I just wanted
it was not a profit loss for you. It was like, what do you want?
Yeah, because while you see my will, you should have seen I'm not very ambitious. I just want to be happy, with what I have. So I don't have this ambition that I should earn well. So that was not the motivating factor. So it was fine.
Another thing that I really think the part is when you mentioned that you did it for yourself, you didn't prove it to anybody. That was a very strong statement. I think many people, be it male or female, they're doing things to just prove it. I think that was a very strong statement for me. I am really going to take that statement back with me today. Thank you so much for sharing that. Shikha, to you.
Yeah. While I was listening to Dr. Manisha, that's what I thought, you're just like water, Dr. Manisha. You just didn't stop. Whether you were a waterfall or you were a swimming pool or you were a lake or you were put in a glass, you adjusted, you adapted to the circumstances, to the situation. Basically, you are unstoppable. What
a beautiful metaphor, Shikha.
You manage family, you manage classes, then you decided to study. And that brings me to my next question. How do you relate education and women empowerment, or education and empowerment? Maybe because did you feel empowered for yourself, for people around you?
Okay, I'll give you an example. See, it is undoubtedly, it's true that education empowers you. Okay, it definitely does. And I will give you an example. My family has started, my uncle, they started a college in my village. So we are people, though we are from Mumbai, we are very rooted and we feel that, you know, it's the urban India who needs us, rural India who needs us. So they started a girls' college. There was no girls' college. There were regular college. So girls after their 10th, 11th, education would end there. When they started, the girls didn't start pouring in. Slowly the change happened, and kudos to my uncle, he was at it. So, you know, like convincing parents. So it was not just opening a school that needed a lot of convincing to do. So I have been interacting very intimately with the girls, and in future I want to do more for them. So these are the girls I've met, I've gone and I've interacted with them. So the teachers, when I interacted, they said, you know, it's very sad that these girls, they cannot work because wherever they get married, and they're all farmers' daughters, but you know, they're in degree college, they won't, because the girls would also say they don't know if they would be allowed to work. Right now, that is sad because nobody speaks of men being allowed to work. Having said that, I still feel they are so empowered. These girls today, you know, UP has been a victim of casteism. If you see today, these girls are very well aware of casteism, that it is a stigma. In their hearts, they know it. So they are very different once they are in the class. They know about gender equality. They know about health issues, women's health issue. They know about cleanliness. They know about global warming. They have developed a very rational, scientific thinking. This itself is empowering. So if you educate a woman, she shines. And when she shines, she illuminates, she educates everyone. These girls go back and tell their mom how to do things. They go and tell their dad what's not right. You know, they talk against dowry, which itself is so empowering, where they feel sad and they tell their father, you know, that you don't do this. There has been a change in these 12 years, 10 years of this college being open. So for me, yes, that is an issue if they will be allowed to work or not. But, you know, they don't realize how empowered they are, that they have, the education has given them a different worldview. So for me, education is absolutely important, and it is something which everyone should, you know, go through it. And again, as I have been always talking, the movement should not just be, you know, at one level, it should go downwards, and we women can lift them up. And I come inspired by their energy when I interact with them. And I would really like most of them to come back to some global field, and I'm sure they will, you know, even if they're not as privileged, but they have inspired me immensely. So a lot of energy comes from those girls. So education definitely empowers everyone.
You reminded me of two things, Manisha. One is, there's a famous quote, right? You teach a man, you teach one person, right? But when you teach a woman, you teach a society, you teach a family, you teach a community, right? When she grows up to become a mother as well, she teaches her children, and you know, the legacy goes on. Second thing, I don't know if you have watched, there's a Hindi movie called Dil Dhadakne Do, right? Where Rahul Bose tells Farhan Khan that I allowed my wife to open a business, right? And Farhan goes back and says, why did you have to allow her to, you just said that, right? Allow. Why do you allow girls, right? You don't allow men, you allow girls to work. And this guy tells Rahul Bose, why did you have to allow your wife to work? That itself is a women empowerment issue. If she wants to do, she wants to do. And you beautifully said that men are never allowed to work. Women need permission to work. Women need permission to study. Why? They're both equal. Thank you. I mean, this is amazing.
Can you even imagine that though I am, and I think I'm fairly empowered woman, I still thank my husband for being by my side and allowing me to study. See how conditioned we are, right?
No, but Manisha, just to input here, you know, this is again, this is a different thing. This is not, I think, allowing, I would say, because you would have done it anyway. This is more like being on the same page, coordination.
Yes.
So, you know, at sometimes I think at your level, at our level, when we do these things, it's more like to be on the same level. Because we were discussing, right? We were discussing on this
gender
part.
Equality. Yes, gender
equality. Equality means that what privileges females are getting, the men should also get it. It's not that they must work because they are male. If they want to be the, you know, house husband and anything.
No, but
anyway,
Geetika, if you look at it, men take decisions very independently.
Yes,
I quit
that's
my
true.
job.
That's
I
true.
decide to start a business. I want to be jobless.
That's
I
true.
want to
That's
do
true.
this, blah, blah, blah. But look at a woman. She will always consult the husband, tell the husband, take his opinion, take his advice, and then do things. Why can't the man do that? It's always the woman who
This
does
is
it, right?
Yes, but what I want to say, Shikha, is it's not that we are fighting against that we should be able to allow it. It's like nobody should need a permission. There should be
Exactly. You should
what
do
I was
what you want to
discussing with
do.
Manisha
Dr. Manisha.
earlier. Yes. So yes, exactly that one. But you know, the fight doesn't end there. I was discussing with Manisha, and because we both are a kind of we went in a trailing spouse mode, and we moved to another country which was completely culturally different. And I was very surprised when I got to know Manisha that she's teaching English, communication or literature, or let's say any part of English at ESL as well in a country like Thailand. So just to the audience, I just want to give you an idea. In Indonesia, Thailand, you'll find a lot of native English speakers. And it's very difficult for an Indian to make a mark in that area. So I just want to ask Manisha, when you moved first time to Thailand, what was your reaction? You know, how did you culturally get into that? I really want to know that. I'm really interested. And apart from that, I see that very visible problem for Indians to be an ESL, English as a secondary language teacher. How did you get in there? And what kind of reactions do you get? Do you get any kind of hiccups till date? Do you face any hindrance till date? What's happening there?
See, again, this is purely personal. I don't stand, my opinion stands purely for me. So I have not faced racism in terms of job, because even when I moved within 3 months, I was working for a company called Damniti Auditing and Accounting Firm. And that was it's a very big name here. Now, when I went there, nobody was shocked that to see me and that I'm not white and I'm speaking in English. So I don't know, I did not face it. They had a lot of respect, even I feel academic respect for Indians is there at that level. So at least academically, I have not faced that problem, but there is a cultural difference. So as I told you, when I came here, most people don't get a job because of linguistic barrier, like HR, what, you know, or so many, it's very difficult to get a job. So for me, being a non-native speaker was not an issue, because I think when I applied for job, okay, so people were forever waiting ki ye kaam kab karegi, when is she going to work? So by the time I applied for a job, I had a doctorate degree, and I immediately, the only place I applied was Assumption University, and I got a job there. I went for an interview. I was not asked any question. They, of course, they went, there was an Indian and there was I think an American who took my interview. So there was never a question that I am a non-native speaker. But, you know, what I personally feel is culturally Indians and Thais, while they are similar, they are also very different. So there are cultural differences. I have so far not felt racism or anybody has told me. In fact, one person asked me that, why do you think your university, he was again an American, why did they take you? You're not a native English speaker. And I said, it took me, you know, it irritated me because the question itself was racist. So I said, it took me because you don't have an experience of learning the language, but I have. Right? So I have learned the language, so I can teach it better. I was not born to the language. So I have learned, we have learned it. And I think I can speak as good as he was speaking. I don't have his accent, but today English has broken those barriers. You know, it's Indian English, it's American English, it's Singaporean English. English no longer belongs to an American or a British. And we all should be proud of our accents. And I tell the same thing to my Thai students. You know, when a French and when a French is not conscious of his accent, Italian is, why are you conscious of your accent? Because they're very shy about their accent. It's a part of our geographical identification. If I speak Indian English, it's my identity as well, right? So I never felt that, but culturally, yes, Gitika, there is difference. When I taught in India, it's very, I don't want to be politically incorrect, but you know, Indian students, I needed to intimidate them first, okay, to communicate. in Thailand, I don't need to intimidate. I need to do the reverse. I need to make them feel very comfortable that, so that my fluency in the language should not be a barrier. Make them feel very comfortable that, I'm there to teach them. I'm not there to judge them. And I'm here to really genuinely help them. So that's the difference. Like an Indian students are aggressive. They will ask a question to know if you know the answer, not for them to know the answer. And I was maybe a bit more conscious because when I started teaching, I was almost their age. I was 20. I was like 24 that time, and the students must be 22, 23. So they were not, it was more in my head to intimidate them. So I would go so well prepared, trying to look very serious that I know, everything. But in Thailand, I try to look more kind so that they open up, because teaching a language is motivating. It's 80% motivation and 20% teaching the language. So that is the difference. Now, having said about teaching skills, since I do corporate training, I was doing I think a year ago, I did corporate training for a very big chain here, and they were sending people from here to India. So they wanted me to train the Indian counterparts about Thais and Thai counterpart about Indians. Trust me, there was a big difference culturally. When I began speaking to Indians, first time, they looked so disinterested that we know everything. It's land of smiles. It's an amazing place for holiday. What is she going to tell us about Thais? They came before you talk, they have made an opinion and they have a question to ask, right? So these are the things where I didn't intimidate them, but I ensured they don't do this. They open their mind. So I had to put a different cultural technique to, get them out of that mode. But in Thais, they will listen to you. They will try to understand. And I feel they're more open to communication, which Indians, they take time till they don't trust you. That you know something more than them, and that's why you're there. They just think it's no point. So, I enjoy, and I think every time I'm pushed for some challenge, I enjoy it even more. So today I would love to, take up challenging work like this to challenge my own communication. So yeah, there is cultural difference, and I enjoy this difference. And I would also like to tell you, Thailand is one of the loveliest places to stay. I'm so ashamed of myself. I don't know the language very well, but I feel so safe. I used to take, for years, I used to take a taxi at 5:30 in the morning to go to a campus, which is very close to my house. And there we would have a beautiful coach to take us to the campus, which is very far away. Every time I took a cab, the taxi person would know I'm going in. He would know I'm a teacher. He would immediately say, Swadikap Ajan, means, good morning, namaste, teacher. I never felt unsafe. I just feel that this place is so peaceful, so beautiful, that I even credit my doctorate peacefully here. Though I was doing from India, coming back and studying here, life is peaceful. People here are absolutely lovely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being so candid. I'm just loving this whole discussion,
I know.
Yeah, right. I can connect with you on multiple points on the safety point of view and people interaction. I think I'm facing the same thing. People are so welcoming for me as well when we are working in Indonesia, the safety wise as well. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I think this really gives, if somebody who's watching who want to move to this country, this will reassure them for that matter.
Yes, absolutely. It's a beautiful country.
But I think your journey doesn't stop there. So I will let Shikha go ahead with the next part of your, next leg of your journey.
I was about to say, Geetika, I was in Thailand for a vacation for 15 days.
Lovely.
And I know now that thanks to Dr. Manisha, I was able to find people who were able to speak in English. It was not difficult for me. 15 days is a long time, right?
Yes.
Thoroughly enjoyed the place, right? People are nice, warm. They're so sweet, very helpful. The culture is so nice, peaceful, right? Very calm, composed.
That's true. That's true.
And this was just before Corona happened in 2019. 15 days of Thailand. And thanks to you, all these folks were speaking good English. Thank you again. Different side
Shikha, Girls, I would like to tell you something that you don't hear people honking. I was reading somewhere,
Yes.
I don't remember who I was reading, and it was written that if you want to know the mindset of people, map their traffic, observe their driving sense. Okay. So when you come to Thailand, you will not hear anyone honking. In India, the minute you start honking, in anticipation, somebody will come in front. But in Thailand, it does not happen. Everything is so quiet, so calm. And if somebody honks, everybody cares. What's wrong with this person? Buddhism is ingrained in them. They are Buddhists ingrained in them. And it's really a beautiful place. So when I hear people, they don't like Thais or they don't like Thai, then I'm amazed, So, yeah.
Shikha, so Dr. Bakshi is saying, no, Dr. Bakshi is saying, DK Bakshi is saying that had you known him, he would have taken you here and there. So maybe your next trip will be sponsored by him for Thailand. Make sure of that, okay?
And I will go and trouble Manisha.
Of course.
Definitely do that.
Both of you, you're most welcome. You can come and put up with me.
So not only the honking part, the way somebody talks to you, the way they greet you, the body language, the smile, you see that warmth. You necessarily don't need to, human behavior, right? If you just observe little things, you are a communication personality trainer, you would know it better than me. That warmth, that smile, the way they greet you, the way they answer your questions, it's so lovely. Okay, now let me take you to another side of, so ladies and gentlemen, let's discover Manisha a little more, a different facet of this great personality. She is associated with a lot of charitable stuff. Yes. Children's home. Just wanted to understand, what's your concept of charity? How did you get into this? Why is it that you do that? Is it your personal interest? Something around those lines. And being with children is beautiful.
See, it's been now 18 years that I've been volunteer with a home here. Okay, this is children's home, and I happened to meet the lady who runs it. I felt very inspired, and for me, charity it's just a part of me. It just fits into my framework of existence. It's not something I'm doing deliberately. It just naturally happened. So this is a beautiful experience. There is a lady called Didi Devimala. She's an Italian lady. She was waiting for someone, and I invited her home, and the journey began. And I felt very inspired by her, the woman power. For me, what she has done here is a pilgrimage. She has taken Diksha in India, and she came here, and her guru said, go to Burma. And you go to Burma and you help the farmers. But because of political reasons and flood, she couldn't go to Burma. So she started, helping farmers here, and people started coming and giving her children to take care. She wouldn't know, but then, they were helpless. They didn't have parents. So she started taking care of them with no experience. Today, there are 126 children in Banunra. So I've seen the kids grow. So when I met her, there was a connect where I felt that, no, I should be, helping her out. So how do I help her out? Because I wasn't earning. I had just shifted new to Thailand. So I started, again, Indians stick together. So I kept meeting or bumping Indians, and I would get invited for tea somewhere. So I started telling people that, whatever you don't need in your house, please give it to me. And I became the official rag picker. I used to actually go to people's house, pick up their things. We Indians hoard a lot. And, pick up old toys, old bed sheets, everything, because they are totally dependent on charity. It started from there. And then when I became a little more confident on, Thailand, then I started telling people that, if there is Shivratri, let each one of us just donate a liter of Tetra Pak of milk. So 70, 80 liters of milk started coming to my house. Every individual I met, they told somebody else. Again, I would like to point this out. All the women who helped me all the people who helped me were women. because they were the ones who took the decision that, yes, let's support her in charity. Let's give milk, let's give. Then on Christmas, and it happens till today, on Christmas, I collect toiletries and towel. So Didi gives them as a gift that it's, you know, for them. And it has, by God's grace, always happened whenever Didi needed something and she writes to me and I just pass the word around. I don't know people and help comes to her. So again, so many lovely people around who have, without knowing me. Now, COVID time, she needed things. I contacted an organization and they, you know, went ahead and helped her. This is not an orphanage which is in Bangkok. This is 6 hours away. So it was not getting that attention. Today, at least I can say in my journey, they are getting attention. And next weekend, by the way, I'm going there. I'm going to spend my weekend with them, with some more people whom I had introduced. So this has been something, I don't know, I feel very spiritually inclined to it. And when I see Didi as a woman, you know, she is in her late 60s today, but what an amazing woman. She's an empowered woman, you know, to me, that she's taking care of 126 children. Now they are vegetarian, the children, they meditate, they do yoga. They are such beautiful children. If you know, even if I go and give few children a box of chocolate, they'll immediately start distributing. And look at her sanskar. She makes them donate. She tells them if there is a flood on the borders. She has children who are Karens as well, where not Burma accepts them, nor Thailand accepts them. And they were thrown, you know, in the jungles. And again, you know, she doesn't have sometimes very easy children to bring up, but she's at it and she believes that meditation has helped them. What people and the world are today, you know, talking about, she's been doing this experiment with the children since then. She's also trying to then again, you know, she tries to make those children very independent. So even old fans, broken toasters, I have collected them and I have sent it to her. She has taught them. You know, she's kept someone and taught them so that those children, you know, become more independent. So that is something so inspiring. And for me, she is the real woman power. You know, to do something like this, she's always in the center of my heart, always. And whenever I ever feel weak about anything in life, I just think about her. So that is her power. It is, I don't think this charity is anything to do with me. It's her power as a woman. She is for me the woman of the century who I know. You know, in my lifetime, she's a woman that I have known who has inspired me so much.
She is the woman power, and you are again another woman power supporting that woman power. So everybody's woman power towards a noble cause. So
Yes.
Beautifully said.
This story has moved me. The story has really moved me. Manisha, you know, you have just said one thing which people actually believe, which is not true. That to help somebody, you have to be super capable. You have to have
exactly
something. But you have just proven that theory wrong. You started with nothing to support. I think, even though you said, you know, you're not very ambitious person and everything, but I think you are very entrepreneurial. You started something out of nothing and you created system.
Yeah. You know, Gitika, the thing is, people wait. Someday they will do this. Someday they'll join an NGO. Someday they want to do this. When is that day? You know, do it now in whatever little way you can do. Even the girl who works for me, you know, when I'm sending rice to Banunrak, she will come and give me 1 kg of rice. At least 2 children. It is that little thing you do. That is important. And when you grow, you do more, but that doesn't mean you have to go. When I start working, I will do charity. Charity can be done, not charity. I wouldn't even call it charity. Sharing. You can do your sharing in so many ways and so little ways, you know. And as I told you, people who helped me, you know, are all women, because they were the ones who would come and you just had to tell them. Now, I also see that shows these women also had the intention, but they just didn't take that one step. I just took one step and they all, you know, came along to support me. So this is power of those women also that empowered me to do something that helped, you know. So this is what I feel about women and their power.
Shikha, you know,
Now or never.
I think I want to put her as a hero, because it takes a hero to move the whole society, and that's what she's doing. That's what DK Bakshi is doing, moving all the around and
All the
combining.
women power together.
Yes. And that's what you did,
2024.
Manisha. You actually did the same, right? You brought all the women power who wanted to do something but didn't know where to start. You took that first step, and they took a leap of faith, I would say, with you, supporting you.
And also, I will say that, sorry, I would also say a few men, like a very dear friend, he was into export of rice. He started supplying rice to Banunrak. Now it's been 8 years that he gave rice whole year. He said, I have an export company. So see how help comes. And that time he was not a dear friend. He was just a person who heard I was doing this. And he took that first step. And today we are good friends, but he had no obligation to do it, but he did that, So
Wonderful.
There were, of course, few men also, I would say, but it's always women who go back and tell their spouse. But in this case, he directly saw it and he does it, and even till today. And also, I will like to tell you that there are times when these messages me and calls me and says, a child has there was a baby with the heart had become a balloon because she was in the jungles. Somebody fed her, and then somebody fed, and she was just dumped there. She needed surgery. Again, I as I told you that we had just moved, and I didn't know, and I couldn't have afforded giving that surgery. Whatever little money I could give, I did, but just spreading the message, we collected the money. So there have been so many instances that how little things can make a big difference. The baby is fine, and I'm going to meet her next weekend. So, this is something which is so beautiful, and it couldn't have happened with me alone. It happened with everyone who just, do it.
Manisha, when you go there, do share the pictures with me and Shikha.
Of course I will.
We will really love to see those pictures. And I think I have to visit Thailand to especially meet this person, the lady who's at work. I'm going to put it on my agenda. So, Shikha, like we were talking about this thing and the empowerment that you related with the education and everything. I want to know, let's put all these things in a box and let's think differently. When you hear about the word empowerment, what is it? What you take out of it? What being empowered means to you? Because we were discussing this, right? We were discussing other day that empowerment does not come with money, it doesn't come with the status, it doesn't come with the designation. So how do you relate that word to?
Okay, for me, empowerment is first, it's at a feeling level. A woman has to feel empowered. You can't give her 5 kgs of empowerment. There's no, sale and there is no buy and sale of empowerment. You cannot. She has to feel within. Doing anything, if she's a homemaker, she should feel important. I also see a lot of women, they associate that if they're not working, they're not empowered. Even when I was home looking after my children, I felt equally empowered. I didn't care what the world thought, that she's so useless. She's sitting and playing ball with her son. It didn't matter to me. I felt very, very empowered, just, being with my children. So empowerment first will come, you feeling empowered, only then you can negotiate about gender equality, isn't it? Right? So you have to be convinced that, you're amazing and you're good and you can give birth, you can take care. Like when I tell these things, sometimes men have laughed at me, but I feel women are themselves marketing management gurus. They are management gurus. You go back to a village woman also. She takes care of everything. She can take care of her house. She can provide on time food. Even if there is no watch in her house, she can provide food to everybody. She takes care of the communication, which we all do between the child and the father. Okay. Between our in-laws, between our extended families. So we are inborn so amazing. We just need to realize that every woman is like that, every woman. So that is women empowerment, that you realize your own value. It's a very spiritual thing. If woman realizes her value, man will realize her value. I'll give you an example. I just thought of it. When I was young and I asked my mom, Mama, can I do this? She will say, we'll ask Papa. What she meant was, I have no power. Though imagine I had very emancipated parents, okay? Still, look at the conditioning. She said, we'll ask Papa. What she meant was, I have no say. Papa will decide whether you can do this or not, right? Now, when my children ask me and they say that, Mama, can I do this? I tell them, yes, I'm fine with it, but we will ask Papa also. Papa is included in that decision. Papa is not the only person. And if Papa says a no, I will reason out with him. But if Papa's reasons are better, I will succumb to his reason. But if my reasons are better, Papa will have to succumb to, allowing you to do certain things. This is women empowerment. We are not at daggers and to kill men and say, it's none of your business, we decide. No, we both decide. We talk of gender equality. So that is the gender equality that we talk about. That is women empowerment. And you know what? I've been having a lot of issues with women of late. I come across a lot of women who do cry on my shoulders. And, I find them sometimes, they live in a victimhood. They're not able to work. They have decided they don't want to work and they're with the family, right? They have decided, it's their decision. Still, they will crib. So, if you're cribbing, then you change your decision. This is something where I want to tell women, come on, if you feel and do something. So your kids are not all the time on your lap, right? When they go to school, if you feel so useless, teach somebody for free or teach somebody for money. You can do so many things, and empower yourself because I feel every woman is amazing. The man is not so amazing. As you said that, Shikha, as you mentioned, you so rightly said that it is women who decide. Should we leave the job? We'll ask the husband. But remember, on a Sunday, when you have no help at home, nobody has come to clean your house or cook for you, when the whole family needs food, they don't look at the husband, they look at us, right? I feel empowered. I don't feel angry now. I feel empowered that only I can do this, cook quickly, give everyone. I don't care whether they appreciate it or not. I appreciate myself for being that person who, in spite of, working, can give meals also. So it is not, I love it. I love that role that my husband is a bad cook and I'm a good cook. I don't care whether he learns cooking or not. But yes, when I need him, he's there for me. He should be doing it for me. That happens. So I'm very content in my role, even as a homemaker, because even that role empowers me, right? I don't want to give that role away to my husband anyways, of a homemaker. I love it. So this is women empowerment, and every woman should understand this aspect of women empowerment, that we are just born with it. We just need to realize it. And unless we don't realize it, how are we going on the negotiating table and saying we are equal when you yourself are thinking you're not equal? So please start thinking you're equal. Everybody will think you're equal. That's what I think.
Manisha, you're awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a homemaker, you are a powerful woman, you are a management guru, you know how to manage communication, you are a finance manager because you run the house, and Sunday when you have no help, you take charge. You're like a Chandi, goddess Durga. You're cooking, cleaning, washing, laundry, providing food to the family. Please learn from Manisha. You are a goddess, you are powerful.
We all are. We all are. All of us.
I think I'm going to ask DK to, at least make a clip of that part and make it like a viral claim, because females, because ladies need to listen, hear that. They need to hear that. They need to know that.
So, the 9 days of Durga Puja, after you do the Puja of Goddess, look at yourself in the mirror and feel the same vibe. Because we are that. And I'm not saying, every time when people say, and I don't like the way they joke, oh, Durga, Kali, they just think of the aggression. They don't think of us as giver, as nurturer, the kindness that we hold in our heart. I don't think men are even capable of holding what we hold, right? Sorry.
You reminded me of something. It was a joke, but on a serious note, right? Somebody, two people are talking, two men are talking, and they say, all the powers are with women. You want education, there's a goddess. You want finance, there is a goddess. You want anything, there's a goddess. God damn, why do they call men powerful? What do we have with us? We have nothing. Because for everything that you need in life, you have a goddess, you have Saraswati, you have Durga, you have Lakshmi, and so on and so forth. So that's what you're reminded.
Yeah,
They
so
do
all
have a
those
power.
9 days.
They do have a power to sleep.
Yeah,
Vishnu.
and you know what? I don't believe in the aggressive version of goddess. You know, if you can have harmony and solve problems, we don't need that aggression. You know, and there is always a way you can solve it. And you know, again, I would say I'm privileged. Maybe there are some women who are not privileged, but in every adverse situation, you know, there is a way out. There is a way out in so that they stay in harmony. You know, so I actually feel from my heart for a lot of women, you know, who suffer because they assume they are not good, because they assume that their man does not give them that credit. They assume it to be fulfilled.
To suffer.
Yeah.
That's the choice
Correct,
we make.
correct. I don't think so. I have heard such beautiful explanation of this word empowerment, women empowerment. Somebody
I
has
know.
such a beautiful manner, you know, that it's you don't have to hold a designation or position of authority or something.
Exactly.
It has to come from within. Wonderfully said, Manisha. I am just enjoying it so much today.
Look at this beautiful statement that she made. Sunday, when you don't have house help, I am the one who provides food to everyone in the house. I am the power. And there are women who think, Arey yaar, you know, oh God, household tasks, domestic, it's so yuck. Why should we do it? It's a burden, blah, blah, blah. But look at your version. I am the power. I'm providing food to the entire family, husband, children, whoever. That's me. That's my role as a homemaker. I'm as powerful as a corporate woman or a pilot or a prime minister. I run the house.
Because I'm both. Remember, I'm both. He is only one. I'm both. That's what women should remember, that you can do this as well as that. We have many hands. That's what I'm trying to say, and there's nothing wrong in it. And women who are not going out and earning, they still are givers. Their husbands are going peacefully and their children are getting breakfast on their table is because of them. That itself is empowering. That itself is so empowering, you know. So don't associate. I should not associate myself with the money I'm getting home. I should associate myself with things I'm doing, and I'm making things happen, you know, there or here or wherever.
Yeah. Their life is perfect because of you. Simple.
Yeah.
They're able to do everything that they want to do because of you. Lovely lady, you have said it so beautifully. I mean, I think I'm on cloud nine, and so are the listeners and the viewers. That brings me to probably the last question that I have on mind. Women empowerment. You have explained it so beautifully, Manisha. Can't thank you enough for that. How do you think you would like to contribute to this movement in Thailand? You know, what kind of impact, what kind of initiatives do you want to drive it?
Shikha, sorry to interrupt you, but while we're asking about this global movement, don't you think we should ask DK also to join here?
We should. I thought once she shares her thoughts, we can ask DK.
Sure thing.
DK sir, you're welcome anytime. Please show up.
Because we are entering in your play area now.
See, I don't have a full plan what I'm going to do or what I should do, but I have something, because I was just told about this, that Mr. Bakshi is very keen that I come on board. Now, as I told you, I'm not given a thought to that extent, and I was just told. So I feel, especially Thailand. Now, Thailand has a huge expat population. 90% of men have got jobs and their wives have come along. Okay, they are trailing spouses. They are all highly educated, but here, unfortunately, they are not able to get a job because linguistic barrier, you know, other barriers. So we have a lot of potential here to do things, and you know, all these powers who can you know, come together and do things for them, they can do it for society. So there can be a very good synergy collaboration with them and the local population as well. So there is definitely a lot of scope. Now, I'll give you a small example. Even if women, they want to go to an NGO, you know, a team can facilitate them. That how do you know, okay, you want to do. So if we have some work where they can find out that they can go, language is a barrier, the local office can help them. So that is one way. And I don't know, as I talk to you, and I don't know why it comes to my mind, but I also would like to mention and take this platform to thank, there is a huge women population that comes from Burma here, you know, as housemaids. And they have been a backbone of expat population. So something can be done for them. So there's a lot of work definitely that can be done once we put our mind to it. This, I just said it, that came to my mind. So yes, hello, Mr. Bakshi, namaste.
Just one moment. And somebody like you, once you put your mind and heart to it, you're unstoppable, Dr. Manisha. Thank you so
Flow
much
of
for
water.
sharing.
She flows like water.
Yeah, I am more empowered now. I'm sure
Me
so
too,
is it.
Shikha. High five.
High five with both. And high five to you also, Mr. Bakshi. Let's not leave him out.
Welcome, Mr. Bakshi.
Honorable woman. He's called the honorable woman.
Sawadee good evening, namaste, Sat Sri Akal. An amazing evening for me to watch the discussion between MGS, the motivation, the greatness, and the success. And she is turning to be man boss. MB ke badle, she is turning to be man boss. She is like a man and she's like a woman.
No, I am a woman and I'm like a woman.
And she's a womania. She's a womania.
Yes, so I'm not like a man. I would be less efficient if I was like a man. I'm a woman. And therefore I'm...
What a statement she's making.
Yes.
And yeah, first of all, let me congratulate both Women Power Indonesia. You know, Indonesia is known as land of Pacific rim of, you know, fire with 150 volcanoes around. That is Geetika, who is very dear to me. So she comes from land of Pacific rim of fire. And when we look at Shikha, she comes from land of unity and diversity. That's India, especially South India. And she's from North and working in South. And when we talk about our evening guest, Dr. Manisha Bose, she comes from land of smiles. That's Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, what a powerful combination of three powerful women from India, Indonesia, and South of India together. What else could I have asked God to give me? A thought which came to my mind that morning, and within 15 minutes, I could connect these three ladies and we could go for a flyer in next 2 hours. I'm really grateful to some of my thoughts sometimes. I always believe thoughts become things with action, 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 and action. Having said that, today also when Manisha was talking about, and she was talking about absolutely everything with action, and especially when she talked about her uncle's girls' college in Allahabad. And what has that impacted over last 1 decade is that at that point of time, people were saying that, you know, are they allowed to work? Which is changing and which is changing, which is changing, which is changing, which is changing, which is changing every time. And today we see a change happening. What this hashtag Women Power is, this is also a change in the society in 20 countries, irrespective of caste, creed, color, nationality, and religion. Unfortunately, one of the country, Afghanistan, is in pain, and I have a lot of women known closely to me. Some of them, I have no information. Some of them, I'm interacting with them in different parts of the world because they left the country. So having said that, when she talked about, you know, she is not ambitious, which I don't agree. Because one side she says, I am not ambitious. And other side, she said, whatever I do with my heart. And people say in life, where there is a will, there is a way. And I say, where there is a will, there is a dill. And where there's a dill, there's a will. And when you have a dill in something, that's what I call romancing with your destiny. And she is highly willing to do things and go out of way. That means somewhere in the heart, there's some kind of ambition, if not visibly that I need to have so much of money or I need to have so much of fame, but she is certainly into will and dill, romancing. Because today she's enjoying working in Thailand. I'm 17 years in Thailand. I know how different it is. And I was telling Manisha, when I landed in Thailand in 2003, within 6 months, I changed three secretaries got changed. And I come from Northern India, aggressive. And Mr. Khun Pool met me at the lobby of the building. And he said, DK, ye chalega nahi yahan pe, because this is Thailand. And I changed my behavior. I changed my communication. I changed my everything. Now you can see in 2003 how much aggressive I would have been. And it's all reduced to an extent. And working in Thailand, that too with Thai people, it's very different. You know, we were discussing that. Why recording starts now?
Stop, not start. Recording stop, I think.
Why did it stop?
I have no idea. I just said
I
that.
think,
Still
I
live
think
on
he-
Facebook.
Yeah,
I
we still like
think
Facebook.
okay, but he got disconnected, I think. I think Amrish got disconnected. Having said that, the way she shared about that when you educate a woman, she shines and she illuminates everyone. That's a very powerful statement. Okay, now he has been able to, I repeat, when Manisha said, when you educate a woman, she shines and she illuminates everyone. And there's no doubt about it. Women has the power and capability of changing the world. When you see the definition of women power and you see what we have built up, and that's where we are right now looking at the change. Second part of important which she talked about is when we are in Thailand, we don't honk, and that's a fact. I drove along with Usha and another couple from Delhi to Hardwar and back. I did not honk even once. And this man was crazy staying with me in the front seat. He said, why don't you honk? Why don't you honk? And one of the ladies other day said, "आप honking क्यों नहीं करते हो? मैं रुक जाऊंगी." मैंने कहा मैं करता नहीं, आप रुको, आप चलो. And we have a culture of doing this. So there's a lot of learning from culture from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Singapore. I'm only talking about Asia Pacific. Let's forget about Canada and US, the Western world. So Indians have to learn on that. And Indian women especially, I tell you, have a lot of power to give to the world. You have seen Indian women at the top of various organizations, PepsiCo, and how she managed such a great company. So she said, "मैं बस first step ले रही हूँ और charity में," and especially I love that charity part. When I started writing for Bangkok Post, I wrote for Bangkok Post for 3 years. Every Tuesday morning, I was the first Indian to have that article of roadmap to success. And they said, "You will make this money." I said, "I don't need this money. I want to give it to Kongtai." You know Kongtai. Kongtai, this thing. So all the money went to Kongtai. It's up to you to decide whether you are doing it for money. So women especially have to decide. The money is certainly important for the family, but then there are certain things which can be beyond this thing. And she says, I don't want people to wait. Yes, action, 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 action. When you take a step 1, step 2 is already taken. Step 3 is already taken. Step 4 is already, but when you don't take the step 1, that's where the women have a problem. They do not take the step 1. That's what we are trying to teach in this program with these stories telling of powerful women like Manisha, that you need to take steps to move forward. And in that, she absolutely said, women need to realize it, that equal opportunity is part of their life. And her definition of empowerment was absolutely very, very strong. And I believe that we have such stories which can make our women power movement very strong in the world. And there are people watching you on Facebook. There are people watching you on this place also. And I could see some of the comments coming from different ladies. And I could especially thank Anuradha Iyer. She had a lot of comments to share. And so having said that, I think this has been one of, again, a great programs. Knowing Geetika, knowing Shikha, they are powerful women power. I am delighted that Geetika is coming to India. I don't know whether we'll be meeting up. I have still an issue to travel back to Bangkok, Manisha. I don't know. Then I'll be able to meet Geetika. Otherwise, in case I travel to, I'm traveling Tuesday to Vizag, coming back, and then my plan to Bangkok. And then I come back and I go to North America till mid of January. So it has been Shikha, very powerful. Geetika, very powerful. Good questions, good discussions. And MB, Manisha Bose, I think we could not put your backdrop, unfortunately, behind you. But even then, you are looking awesome. And God bless all the beautiful ladies. All ladies are beautiful. You know, whether it's your mother, whether it's your sister, it's your wife, your daughter, beauty is in the character of a person. We sometimes feel that our physical beauty is everything. वो आज है, कल नहीं है. It is today, it may not be tomorrow. But in your character, in your dialogue, in your communication, in your attitude, in your behavior, the beauty remains always there. किसी ने कल नहीं देखा कि क्या होगा अपनी body का. But character, communication, confidence, and trust, transparency, togetherness. This is dialogues of women. This is not dialogues of men, because women are power. So I would say that, which we do that exercise, you got the power, I got the power, we got the power. Hey, we are women power. I repeat, you got the power, we got the power, I got the power. Hey, we are women power. So that is what women power movement is. Ladies and gentlemen around the world who are watching now or will be watching it later, this show has to be taken forward now into the face-to-face, effective 2022. In case I travel to Bangkok, maybe next week only, I will do the first face-to-face with 50 women in Bangkok. Otherwise, 2022, it will be face-to-face around the world. That's my commitment to the world. And in India, we'll be doing the first event on 8th March, 2022, International Women Day, where I'll be releasing the book, #Women Power, a Global Movement, along with Dr. Kiran Bedi. And that will be the first top 10 stories of women power who came on this show since April 2020. And this book will keep on continuing. Right now, this book is it has been given to the editor. Before I leave India for North America, I think I'll meet Dr. Kiran Bedi, get her complete thing. And then by the time I'm back in mid of January, we should be ready. And that event is going to be a very large event where I'll be inviting women from different parts of society who have been part of our program. And 10 powerful women are going to be in my first book, from Kiran Bedi to Sister Shivani to Shazia Almi to Puja Bedi to, our ambassador, Suchitra Durai in Thailand, IPS officer from Karnataka, where I am telling Shikha to meet her, the Chief Secretary of Karnataka, and Pallavi Joshi and Malini Avasthi. These are the set of women in the first list, whose short stories will be in the first book, which will be released on 8th March 2022, wherein a big partner from a corporate world is going to be part of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please support this movement. This movement is yours. And I'm inviting men also now, because it's very important for men to support women. Women are empowered. And today also somebody raised a question in the group. You're doing a lot of great work for women. Why not for men? I will share that, what he has written. And why not for men? Because men also need empowerment, but because there are women who create a lot of problems for men. So therefore, everywhere you need to do that. आज ही आया मेरे WhatsApp पे, मैं आप चारों के साथ वो आपके ग्रुप पे शेयर करूंगा. Why not for men when women create problems for men? So that is the belief. So I don't know what to say, but I can say that amazingly a beautiful program this evening made me, again, thoughts becoming things with action, made me to feel that there's so much from women to share with the world. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. Manisha, मैं आपके इस लेक्चर को I will get up and give you a standing ovation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So that's what I can say. Kyun Shikha? Kyun Manisha, the way she spoke. And as an honorable woman, I am known as honorable woman in this process. I salute you for what you shared. And I salute my two women power from Indonesia and South India, Shikha.
It was lovely knowing them, meeting them. It was really lovely. And we are going to be friends now forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
And Mr.
giving
Bakshi is
back-
looking for compliment. Mr.
I am
Bakshi is
giving
looking for
pat on back to
compliment.
myself. I am giving pat on back to myself because I am the connector.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
So it has been lovely. So I know Shikha from some time back, and I was moved the way she hosted her first show, and she told me that it was her first show, the way she talked. And within 5 minutes, she got the energy from here to the top of the world. The momentum was exponential. The growth was like so good. I complimented her immediately, and I was like, Shikha, what you have done is like, I am moved the way. So I know her, and I have a very big admiration for how Shikha holds thing. But Manisha, knowing you has been a delight.
I
First
know.
time we were talking, we didn't know, it went like for an hour, and I had to cut back because I had a lot of work to do. I said, Manisha, okay, I'm going now, but we didn't want to put the call down. We missed Shikha that day, but today, the way you spoke, how candid you were, your small sharing gave us a lot of meaning. And when I'm saying that, I am truly telling you, I think nobody has defined empowerment the way you have defined. I'm going to keep that definition with me.
Thank you, and it is lovely,
I
lovely.
will
meeting
make that
Much.
small script and I will share with the world.
Thank you so much.
Please do that. Okay, thank you very much.
It's been
Yeah,
an
Shikha,
absolute
Shikha,
delight doing this. Yes. Gitika, thank you so much for partnering. You've always been amazing and you will continue to be. And our relationship will grow and grow and grow. And Dr.
Following your
Manisha,
footsteps.
No.
Following your footsteps, dear.
Grace and
Go.
gratitude.
Go and glow with grace and gratitude.
wow, go, grow, glow, and grace and gratitude. Lovely. And thank you, Bakshi sir, for connecting us with somebody as lovely as Dr. Manisha. I know we spoke for more than an hour and just didn't realize that it was late for you in the night and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stay happy, stay blessed, stay the way you are.
And I
Dr.
think we
Manisha.
spoke,
You're
we
amazing.
spoke nothing about women empowerment. We spoke we laughed a lot, and we spoke about, both of you, and we spoke about everything, but
everything.
but about this. Yeah, it was lovely. And Mr. Bakshi, I know you're always going to be around for us.
Yes.
See you. Hope to see you in Bangkok.
Yeah, I want to be back to Bangkok soonest. I am missing some good dishes. I'm fond of my, green curry and all stuff. So
I think we should move out of the live
Yes.
Facebook now.
yeah, okay.
So I have to go. I will leave.
Shikha has to close. Shikha has to close.
Okay,
Shikha has to
bye.
close.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you,
ladies and
Swadika.
Thank you so
gentlemen.
much, Manisha. Thanks,
Being
Dr.
with us.
TK. Thanks,
Thank you.
Shikha.
It was a wonderful
Bye.
evening. Bye-bye.
Ratri Savad Khap.
Now I think, Amrish, can you remove us from the Facebook Live?